None of us want to make T-maxx Tony look like an idiot, right? This is what a pizza looks like on a thermographic camera. It's a UFO. It's a UFO. It is fast. The legendary Traxxas Nitro V. Thanks for having me on your show, Hybrid. You know T-maxx Tony loves the T-maxx, but hey, the T-maxx also has got a cousin, the Traxxas Jato 3.3. Today, we're gonna take this out for a spin, see how fast it is. We have our speed meter on it. This is one of the coolest stadium trucks in my opinion. Highly underrated for what it is. It is probably the only stadium truck that T-maxx Tony is aware of that has an automatic 2-speed transmission. Thanks so much for that intro, T-maxx Tony, but I gotta tell you something. You're not the RC historian like I am right over here. You might be a T-maxx fan, you know all about them, but you don't know much about the best stadium truck ever made. Let me tell you a little bit about its history. Initially, this came out in 2005. At that time, this was exactly a year after the most revolutionary 10-scale monster truck came out, the Traxxas Revo. I know a lot of you are thinking, this is just a fancy modern rustler. Guys, this is not a rustler. Take a look at a rustler. I'm going to show you one right over here. The Traxxas Jato is not a Nitro rustler. Although they do have exactly the same wheelbase, as you could tell, they are exactly the same. Even the wheel sizes are the same. They both have an aluminum pan chassis, but the rustler is basically a mid-90s design. I mean, even look at the body. This is what they call the Pro Graphics. This is a little bit older, of course, than the Jato, but it's just so historic. Unless I'm making a mistake, there is no 2-speed stadium truck on the market. And I have a whole bunch of stadium trucks. This right here is my HPI Nitro MT2 G3.0. This is also a stadium truck. This is a single-speed transmission. But yes, you could have had an optional 2-speed, although I'm not quite sure if they were ever equipped with a 2-speed from the factory. So this still means this is the only stadium truck ever sold with a 2-speed from the factory. And later on, we're gonna go and test out the 2-speed. We're gonna see what the top speed actually is. We're gonna look at some really great footage. You could tell I have a whole bunch of GoPro mounts right over here. We're gonna stick the camera on, give it full throttle. Now keep in mind, I do run my RCs fairly rich and I'm using only 20% Nitro. If you look at the current Traxxas website on their Nitro RCs, I'm gonna put a screenshot here so you can follow along. This says it is a level 5. No other RC that they currently sell is a level 5. Everything else is a level 4 or 3. So 5 is pretty hardcore. They claim it can do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. I mean, that is really, really fast. I think that's only a little bit slower than one of the most modern Corvettes. Top speed, 65 plus. Now, I'm pretty sure that means they're running their favorite Traxxas Top Fuel 30% nitromethanol mix. We're gonna be running 20%. I know some of you out there have the Traxxas Jato because you've told me that in the comments. You actually have a couple, and guess what? So do I. This is one of those RCs where if you get one and you like it, for some reason it's like an addiction. You need to get another one. So this one has had a hard life. I recently picked this one up on Let Go. I'm still going through it. This might be a video later in the future, the restoration of one. I actually am not really aware of the condition of this model right now, but it is the same exact version, the TRX 3.3 engine, which is the most modern one. The only thing I am missing on this particular one is the GPS module, and I'm pretty sure the TSM. There is no electric variant of this chassis. Yes, they do sell the Traxxas Rustler, but I already said this is not the Rustler. This has a completely unique chassis. We're gonna remove the body right now. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure you're gonna agree. The cheapest thermographic camera, pizza break. Yeah. You see that pizza? It is nice and hot. The thermographic camera is reading that it is 57 degrees Celsius at its max. You could clearly see this red outline of the pizza as I move in and out. The outside is this blue color right here on the camera. Inside is the pizza. This right here is a bottle of water on the outside outline of the pizza. You can clearly see the thermographic camera is pretty quick, it's responsive, but what really matters is how good does this pizza taste? Let me eat some. We already know this pizza is hot. Let's see what it tastes like. Not bad. Domino's got some premium chicken, got some peppers on here. Man, the stuff of capitalism. By the way, in case you were wondering, this is the cheapest thermographic camera. I got it on Banggood. I'm going to put a link in the description. It was under $100. This is literally a point-and-shoot thermographic camera. This is what a pizza looks like on a thermographic camera. You guys can clearly see there is a freaking giant red triangle on the camera. This gives you really detailed information on the hot, the cold, the maximum, the minimum temperatures. But for now, let me just enjoy my pizza, right? Oh yeah. With the body off, you could tell how packed and how efficiently space is used on this chassis. It might look like it has buggy style guards, and that's because it does. In terms of suspension, this thing does not skimp. Traxxas refers to these as the GTR shocks. Now notice how smooth they are when I'm pretty much, moving the chassis all the way up and down. They're just so smooth. Now I have to tell you, I did notice that this thing is planted to the pavement when I drive it. Another great thing is they are threaded bodies, and notice how thick the actual shock body is. The Easy Start system is integrated right into the top. When you have your body on, there's absolutely no issue connecting this. You're gonna see me do it later on. Another interesting design feature, notice this fuel tank lid. Normally you go like this, right? You open the fuel cap, you gotta remove the body. It's a whole disaster. This has a specially designed little handle going like this. Basically all you do, boom, open it, and it's open. I mean, that really is just kind of interesting, and I don't want to say it's genius, but someone literally thought of this. Usually people put zip ties here, it's all messy, you gotta like get your zip tie, it's all flapping around. This is just like this, guys. Look at this, look at that. That's it, easy. Your thumb fits right over here, you're good to go. Why can't anyone else do this? The exhaust system on this car is fairly typical for a Traxxas with a 3.3 engine. It's always this smooth header, which is really good for smooth flowing exhaust. The pipe is a resonator pipe. This is basically just the name. All tuned pipes for RCs more or less look the same unless you have a CVEC, which would be adjustable. This is just a regular tuned pipe. It does the job, it's anodized. I like the way it looks. The blue chassis theme is pretty unique. I don't mind it at all. Traxxas designed a specific steering bell crank system, as it can be seen right over here. It's mounted upside down, as is the steering servo. The goal of this is to eliminate any sort of bump steer. So when you're driving and let's say your suspension is moving up and down to adjust to the road conditions, it's gonna slightly alter your steering angle geometry. Now this particular system, no matter what happens to the wheels, they are basically pointed to the front at all times. Now this is really important for having this thing drive straight. Now two-wheel drive RCs like this are known to have ridiculous torque steer where they always pull to one or another side, but this really goes out of its way to make sure you don't have any of that. On top of that, yeah, you have sway bars front and rear. Of course, they are really kind of thin units, but yeah, they could be fully tuned and adjusted. The only thing I really don't like about the design on this RC, and honestly I want you guys to put in the comments if you have a Jato, if you have this issue, or if it's just me, the braking system. The way the brake system works, I just don't think it's really well designed. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to apply brakes all the way on the remote. I could easily just spin the wheels, and I've already adjusted the brakes every way I know how. So check this out. This is literally what happens. Watch this. This is the brake cam. When I apply brakes all the way, the brake cam arm cannot possibly go any more right. It literally is hitting the side of the differential and transmission case. When you look at the back of this chassis, it's pretty common to have your receiver battery pack here in the back. But actually, you could relocate this if you want to get rid of the wheelie bar, although I like it, it's easier to carry it. You could relocate your battery and put it here in the middle of the chassis. Your receiver system is here in this little container covered by a body clip, but you also have, you see this little body clip right here? This removes, you have some of the telemetry sensors inside there, but you could also put your receiver battery in here for even better weight distribution. I particularly like it here because this is a rear wheel drive RC. Here's a good comparison view of almost all the vintage stadium trucks I have. They are all rear wheel drive other than the HPI Nitro MT. And yes, this has always been my favorite for a long time because of the four-wheel drive system and the fact that it's really easy to service and work on. But in terms of drivetrain, suspension, and interesting technology, the Traxxas Jato really takes the cake. All the way here on the side, we have one of my favorites, the Team Losi XXX NT with the OS 12 CVX engine. Highly collectible RC. I bought this one for $50. It is basically in original condition, other than the motor probably needs to be rebuilt and I'm missing a body. But just in terms of design, if you guys look at these two up close, yes, they are the same wheelbase, the same overall size, the 10 scale factor, but look at how complicated the Jato chassis is. It is not even really a fair comparison. Of course, the Jato is much faster, so let's go right now to T-maxx Tony outside. He's gonna run this thing for us and see how fast it is. Let's fill her up. T-maxx Tony likes to use 20% nitro fuel with a 9% oil content. Electronics are on, steering is functional. We're gonna be using this new lithium polymer glow igniter. T-maxx Tony first saw this on the Bug 404, another YouTuber. Check his channel out, guys. He has really great nitro stuff and he's an expert in OS engines. These are pretty good. Some of the most innovative, I think, technology in nitro RC glow drivers I've ever seen. Here we go. First, we gotta prime the motor with this Easy Start 2 system. That should be good. First speed run, T-maxx Tony got 50 miles an hour. Not bad. We're gonna attempt a couple more. I had to go pick it up because, you know, it turns off all the time when you're all the way at the back of the field. It's part of the joys of driving a Nitro RC, right? There's a guy flying some kind of FPV race drone out here. It is really freaking loud and fast. You see that? It's a UFO. It's a UFO. It is fast. Look at that race drone. Holy moly, I can't even keep up with it. By the way, I use this for RC engine tuning, so as I get close, you could see the cooling head is hot. If you wanted to, you could actually convert this into Fahrenheit, but this is a really, really cool device. Look at that. You can literally see the outline of the RC as it's on the floor, and the cooling head is the hottest part, as you would expect. Cool. We got 54 miles an hour, which is not bad for a stock 3.3 Traxxas Jato running regular 20% nitro fuel, 9% oil. The system right now is relatively rich. T-maxx Tony, along with a hybrid, we both like to run our nitros rich. That way, you're not gonna have any disasters. I have no doubt this thing could easily hit 60 with 30% nitro fuel. Hell, maybe even 25% nitro fuel. The main thing is it is very stable at high speed. Now notice I do have a couple of weights here in the front. This, guys, is really important. Even during the high speed runs, this tends to pretty much lift a little bit from the front like this, and you don't want to have a flip over at high speed. You're gonna look like an idiot. None of us want to make T-maxx Tony look like an idiot, right? All right, hybrid, thanks so much for checking in with me with my Traxxas Jato 3.3. I'm making nitro great again. I know you're back there with a huge primal MT making gas RC great again. While I was gone, it appears a Traxxas Nitro V, a legendary 20-year-old RC nitro boat, has appeared on my table. But hey, this video is not about the boat yet. It will be soon. Thanks so much for all that, T-maxx Tony, but you failed. You should have at least hit 60 miles an hour. I mean, I understand you're not used to driving such an epic level 5 nitro stadium truck as I am, but don't worry, we're gonna make this RC hit 60 miles an hour again sooner or later. Then we're gonna throw this terrific boat in the water. Look at that. Here it is, guys. As a surprise, T-maxx Tony asked me to remove the cowl for you just so you could have a look at what a 20-year-old nitro state-of-the-art boat looks like. You could tell the inside is basically spotless. This has a built-in water cooling system that picks up water from the bottom, the pickup right here in the water when you're driving. It cools the top of the cooling head. There are so many fuel lines in here that are used for the water cooling system that is just ridiculous. This also has a dual exhaust system in the back. Honestly, this is probably my favorite feature. I really want to see the nitro burning smoke coming out of the back as I'm driving out of the water. This is like one of those 1980s Knight Rider boat versions. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Kit from Knight Rider, that's what it's all about. Don't worry, we're gonna do a full video on this soon. We're gonna check out the condition of this engine. I'm gonna remove the cooling head, see how the actual water jacket here works. So there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. The more subscribers and I guess comments or whatever it is I get, the happier it's gonna make me. And maybe I'll get a giant gas boat eventually. That's gonna be interesting, I know, for me at least. Thanks.